Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, The Advent of Lord Krishna, Introduction. Text 54 onwards. Shri Vasudeva Vacha, Nahi Yasyaste Bhayam Somya, Yadve Saha Sharirvak, Putran Samarpayesheyasya, Yataste Bhayam Utthitam. So the philosophical points of Vasudeva Maharaj did not work on Kansa. So he came to another point. Vasudevji said, "O best of the sober," this is to calm him down. Soumya, he calling him Soumya, Soumyate. O best of the sober, you have nothing to fear from your sister Devaki because of what you have heard from the unseen omen. The cause of death will be her sons. Not even, Vasudeva did not say, cause of her death will be 8th son. He said, cause of her death will be her sons. Therefore, I promise that when she gives birth to the sons from whom your fear has arisen, I shall deliver them all unto your hands, so you can kill them. But Acharyas have explained that somehow how you make the meaning out of Sanskrit. Vasudevji, what he was saying that the 8th son, I'll never deliver him to you. But how Kansa understood that he will deliver all the sons. But somehow, how the Acharyas explain, I'm not a Sanskrit scholar, but it is said that the Acharya said, Vasudevji said, 8th son, I'll never deliver him to you. Because he is going to deliver you, not he will be delivered to you. So Kansa feared Devaki's existence because after her 8th pregnancy, she would give birth to a son who would kill him. Vasudeva, therefore, to assure his brother-in-law the utmost safety, promised to bring him all the sons. He would not wait for the 8th son, but from the very beginning would deliver to the hands of Kansa all the sons to which Devaki would give birth. This was the most liberal proposition offered by Vasudeva to Kansa, because somehow or other he wanted to save the life of Devaki. Shri Shukavacha Swasvarva Dhani Vavritte Kansastad Vakya Sarvat Vasudeva Apitam Pritaha Prashasya Pravishad Griham. Srila Shukdev Goswami continued. Kansa agreed to the logical arguments of Vasudeva, and having full faith in Vasudeva's words, he refrained from killing his sister. Vasudeva, being pleased with Kansa, pacified him further and entered his own house. So somehow he convinced Kansa. Although Kansa was a sinful demon, he believed that Vasudeva would never deviate from his word. The character of a pure devotee like Vasudeva is such that even so great a demon as Kansa firmly believed in his words and was satisfied. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. All good attributes are present in a devotee, so much so that even Kansa believed in Vasudeva's words without a doubt. Atha kal upavritte devaki sarva devata putran prasu shubhe chashto kanyam chevanubatsaram. Each year thereafter, in due course of time, Devaki, the mother of God and all the demigods, gave birth to a child. Thus she bore 8 sons, one after another, and a daughter named Subhadra. So Subhadra was not born here in the prison house of Kansa in Mathura. Subhadra was born later to Devaki when she was in Dwarka. after Kansa was killed and they had moved to Dwarka. But anyway, she did give birth to Subhadra by Yogmaya. The spiritual mass is sometimes glorified as Sarva Deva Maya. By the grace of the Guru, the spiritual master, one can understand the different kinds of devas. The word Deva refers to God, the Supreme Personality of God, who is the original source of all the demigods, who are also called Devas. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Aham Adirhi Devanam. I am the source of all the Devas. The Supreme Lord, Vishnu, the original person, expands in different forms. Tadakshat Bhusha. He alone has expanded into many. There are different grades of forms known as Swansha and Vibhinnansha. The Swansha expansions of Vishnu Tattva are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas the Vibhinnansha are Jiva Tattva, who are part and parcel of the Lord. If we accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and worship Him, all the parts and expansions of the Lord are automatically worshipped. Sarvar Arahanam Achyutejiya. Krishna is known as Achyuta. By worshipping Achyuta, Krishna, one automatically worships all the demigods. There is no need of separately worshipping either the Vishnu Tattva or Jiva Tattva. If one concentrates upon Krishna, one worships everyone. Therefore, because Mother Devaki gave birth to Krishna, she is described here as Sarva Devata. So why she is called Sarva Devata? Athakal Upavrite Devaki Sarva Devata. Why? Because Krishna is born of her. So if Krishna is there, everybody is there. It means she gave birth to everybody. Kirti Mantam Pratham Ajam Kansaya Anak Dundubhi Arpayamasa Krichrena So Anritadi Vivilaha. Vasudeva was very much disturbed by fear of becoming a liar by breaking his promise. Thus, with great pain, he delivered his firstborn son, named Kirtiman, into the hands of Kansa. In the Vedic system, as soon as a child is born, especially a male child, the father calls for learned Brahmins, and according to the descriptions of the child's horoscope, the child is immediately given a name. This ceremony is called Namkaran. There are different kinds, 10 different kinds of sanskaras or reformatory methods adopted in the system of Varnashram Dharma. And the name-giving ceremony is one of them. Although Vasudeva's first son was to be delivered into the hands of Kansa, the Namkaran ceremony was performed and thus the child was named Kirtima. Such names are given immediately after birth. So Kirtiman, he was going to be killed right away. But his name was Devji gave us Kirtiman, that you'll have your fame known all over the world. Kim dusaham na sadhuna vidusham kim apekshitam kim karyam kadaryanam disyajam kim dhritatmanam. What is painful for saintly persons who strictly adhere to the truth? How could there not be independence for pure devotees who know the Supreme Lord as a substance? What deeds are forbidden for persons of the lowest character? And what cannot be given up for the sake of Lord Krishna by those who have fully surrendered at his lotus feet? These are amazing questions. What is painful for saintly persons who strictly adhere to the truth? They just strictly adhere, no matter what. Since the eighth son of Devaki was to kill Kansa, one might ask what the need was for Vasudeva to deliver the firstborn child. The answer is that Vasudeva had promised Kansa that he would deliver all the children born of Devaki. Kansa, being an Asura, did not believe that the eighth child would kill him. He took it for granted that he might be killed by any of the children of Devaki. Vasudeva, therefore, to save Devaki, promised to give Kansa every child, whether male or female. From another point of view, Vasudeva and Devaki were very pleased and they understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, would come as the eighth son. Vasudeva, a pure devotee of the Lord, was eager to see Krishna appear as his child from the eighth pregnancy of Devaki. Therefore, he wanted to deliver all the children quickly so that the eighth turn would come and Krishna would appear. He begot one child every year so that Krishna's turn to appear would come as soon as possible. So this is really test for devotees. Of course, Vasudeva and Devaki had performed severe austerities to have Krishna as a child. They wanted a child as equal to Krishna. Drona and Sutapa, they performed austerities. So first they had, I'm forgetting the first one. The second was Vamandev. And the third is Krishna himself. So, and look at the situation here. As soon as a child is born, that Vasudevji, first child was born, Vasudevji took him to Kansa. Now Harivansha is another scripture that explains it nicely. So Kansa became very happy that Vasudevji kept his promise. And he said, no, I'm not afraid of this first child. And you take him back. But then what happened? Narad Muni appeared. Narad Muni went to Kansa and told him, see, I heard demigods are planning your death. So demigods are appearing in all these different dynasties, in Yadavansha and here and there. So you might be thinking the eighth child according to your calculations, but demigods' calculations could be different. So they might be like first child could be the eighth child, and second child could be the eighth child. Who knows how they're calculating? So Kansa then went back to Vasudeva and Devaki's house. And he took the child from Devaki's lap. First, just 1 day old child. And he grabbed him. And Kansa was so powerful. His both arms had the strength of 10,000 elephants. And he grabbed that child and smashed him against the rock of the prison house in front of Vasudeva and Devaki. Can we imagine what must have gone through Devaki's mind and Vasudeva's heart? Seeing the firstborn child being killed, not just killed, brutally slaughtered by Kansa. Still true to their word. And why true to the word? Because they knew if the demigods have said the eighth child will kill this demon, they wanted to hasten up, speed up the appearance of Krishna. That's real devotional service. They knew all the other childs will be killed by Kansa, but still they kept going. And every year they were having another child. Drishtva samatvam tachore satye chaiva vyavasthitim kansastushta manarajan prahasanam idam abravit. My dear King Parikshit, when Kansa saw that Vasudeva being situated in truthfulness was completely equipoised in giving him the child, he was very happy. Therefore, with a smiling face, he spoke as follows. The word samatvam is very significant in this. Samatvam refers to one who is always equipoised, unaffected by either happiness or distress. Vasudeva was so steadily equipoised that he did not seem in the least agitated when delivering his firstborn child into the hands of Kansa to be killed. See, here Parikshit Maharaj, he knows he will be dead in 7 days. And now I'll think only 2 days are left. It's already 10th canto. But he was not disturbed. And he is listening to Bhagavatam. Kansa knew he would be killed by the eighth child of Vasudeva and Devaki and how disturbed he got. That he wants to make sure that nobody can kill him, that he can live forever. Nobody can live forever. That's for sure. But this is the mentality of devotees and demons. Devotees, Maharaj Parikshit, who was saved by Krishna himself in the womb of his mother. And he could have done everything or anything to protect himself from this curse also, but he did not. He said, forget it, I want to leave. And here Kansa, he wants to commit more and more sins just to make sure he does not die. And he dies. Even from right now, even from the time when he heard this voice from the sky, this omen that he would die, he was living in fear from the very day. This is demons. This is demonic. And Vasudeva is equipoised, although he knew Kansa is going to kill all his children. Huge, huge difference between devotees and demons. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Dukkeshu anudvigna mana sukheshu vigats priha. In the material world, one should not be very eager to be happy, nor should one be very much disturbed by material distress. Lord Krishna advised Arjuna, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, Ocean of Bharat, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. The self-realized soul is never disturbed by so-called distress or happiness, and this is especially true of an exalted devotee like Vasudeva, who showed this by his practical example. Vasudeva was not at all disturbed when delivering his first child to Kansa to be killed. Of course, those who don't have proper understanding, they can say, oh, why Vasudeva was such a heartless person? How could he deliver the just born baby to Kansa to be killed? We have to understand it from Acharyas. Pratiyatu kumaro ayam nahi asmadasti me bhayam ashtamad yuviyor garbhan mrityur me vihita kil. Oh, Vasudeva, you may take back your child and go home. I have no fear of your first child. It's the eighth child of you and Devaki I'm concerned with, because that is a child by whom I'm destined to be killed. Tatheti sutam adaya yayavan anakdundubhi nabhyananda tadvakyam asato avijitatmana. Vasudeva agreed and took his child back home, but because Kansa had no character, no self-control, Vasudeva knew that he could not rely on Kansa's words. Nandadya ye braje gopa yaschami sham chayoshita vrishnayo vasudevadya devakyadya yadustriya sarve devata praya obhyorapi bharata gyatyo bandhu suhrido yecha kansam anuvrita. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, headed by Nanda Maharaj and including his associate cowherd men and their wives, were none but denizens of the heavenly planets. O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the descendants of Bharatas, and so too were the descendants of the Vrishni dynasty, headed by Vasudeva, and Devaki and the other women of the dynasty of Yadu. The friends, relatives, and well-wishers of both Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva, and even those who externally appeared to be followers of Kansa, were all demigods. So demigods had taken birth everywhere. As previously discussed, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, informed Lord Brahma that Lord Krishna would personally descend to mitigate the suffering on the earth. The Lord ordered all the denizens of the heavenly planets to take birth in different families of the Yadu and Vrishni dynasties and in Vrindavan. Now, this verse informs us that all the family and friends of the Yadu dynasty, the Vrishni dynasty, Nanda Maharaj, and the Gopas descended from the heavenly planets to see the pastimes of the Lord and also to take part in the pastimes. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord's pastimes consist of paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, saving the devotees and killing the demons. To demonstrate these activities, the Lord called for devotees from different parts of the universe. So the devotees are everywhere. There are many devotees who are elevated to the higher planetary systems. The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment of the planets of the highest living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. So the devotees, as it is said, those who don't complete their devotion service, then they take birth here on earth, or they're very learned, or very rich, or aristocratic families, or they can go to heavenly planets, or they can be born in devotee families. It depends how much progress we have made. Some devotees, having failed to complete the process of devotion service, are promoted to the heavenly planets to which the pious are elevated, and after enjoying there, they may be directly promoted to the place where the Lord's pastimes are going on. When Lord Krishna was to appear, the denizens of the heavenly planets were invited to see the pastimes of the Lord, and thus it is stated here that the members of the Yadu and Vrishni dynasties and the inhabitants of Vrindavan were demigods, or almost as good as demigods. So in fact, even right now, it's not like only when Krishna was present, then the Vrindavan had all these pious or devotees appearing over there, taking birth over there. Vrindavan is eternal. Krishna's pastimes are eternal. They can be manifested or unmanifested, but they are eternal. So even right now, anybody who's born in Braj or other places of pastimes of Krishna, Ayodhya, Jagannath Puri, Dwarka, other places, they're not ordinary people who are taking birth there or who leave their bodies there. Not ordinary. Even those who externally help the activities of Kamsa belong to the higher planetary systems. The imprisonment and release of Vasudeva and the killing of various demons were all manifestations of the pastimes of the Lord. And because the devotees would be pleased to see these activities personally, they were all invited to take birth as friends and relatives of these families. As confirmed in the prayers of Kunti, Nato Natya Dharo Yatha, the Lord was to play the part of a demon killer and a friend, son, and brother to his devotees, and thus these devotees were all summoned. You take birth here, there, or everything is controlled by Yogamaya in Vrindavan. When we go to Vrindavan or Braj these days, we see so many things going. But just imagine in Vrindavan, nothing can happen without the personal intervention of Yogamaya and Krishna himself. And of course, Vrinda Devi was in charge of Vrindavan, and Srimati Radharani, ultimately. Nothing can happen without their personal knowledge and sanctioning. So we got to be very, very careful when we go to Braj or to other places of pilgrimage. Got to be very careful not to commit offenses. Very, very careful. And they have their many associates or messengers or servants who do different things, just like Krishna's special associates are the monkeys of Vrindavan. And they run away with the eyeglasses or gamcha, this and that. One has to give them fruity or bananas to get those things back. This all happens under the complete jurisdiction of Krishna. Etat kansaya bhagwan chanchaya sa bhetya narada bhumir bharayamananam daityanam cha vadhodhyamam. Once the great saint Narad approached Kansa and informed him how the demoniac persons who were a great burden on the earth were going to be killed. Thus Kansa was into great fear and doubt. It has already been discussed that Mother Earth implored Lord Brahma to give her relief from the distress created by the burdensome demons, and Lord Brahma informed her that Lord Krishna himself was going to appear. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhuna. Whenever there is a burden created by the demons and whenever the innocent devotees are distressed by the demoniac rulers, the Lord appears in due course of time to kill the demons with the assistance of his real representatives, who are technically called demigods. In the Upanishads, it is stated that the demigods are different parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As it is the duty of the parts of the body to serve the whole, it is the duty of Krishna's devotees to serve Krishna as he wants. Krishna's business is to kill the demons, and therefore, this should be a devotee's business also. Because the people of Kali Yuga are fallen, however, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of kindness for them, did not bring any weapons to kill them. Rather, by spreading Krishna consciousness, love of Krishna, he wanted to kill their nefarious, demoniac activities. This is the purpose of the Krishna consciousness. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the background, his weapons were what? Mridanga and Kartal. To do Sankirtan, to kill the demoniac consciousness. Unless the demoniac activities on the surface of the world are diminished or vanquished, no one can be happy. The program for the conditioned soul is fully described in Bhagavad Gita, and one simply has to follow these instructions to become happy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore prescribed Hare Ranam, Hare Ranam, Hare Ranam eva kevalam. Let people chant the Hare Krishna mantra constantly. Then their demoniac tendencies will be killed and they will become first-class devotees, happy in this life and in the next. Because next life they go back to spiritual world or be with Krishna in his pastimes. So cannot be more happy than that. Rishera vinira game kanso yadun matva sura niti devakya garabha samputam vishnum cha svavadham prati Devakim Vasudevam cha nigriya nigadar grihe jatam jatam ahan putram tayor ajan shankaya. After the departure of the great Saint Narad, Kansa thought that all the members of the Yadu dynasty were demigods, and that any of the children born from the womb of Devaki might be Vishnu. Fearing his death, Kansa arrested Vasudeva and Devaki and chained them with iron shackles. Suspecting each of the children to be Vishnu, Kansa killed them one after another because of the prophecy that Vishnu would kill him. This is demoniac. Srila Jiva Goswami in his note on this verse has mentioned how Narad Muni gave Kansa this information. This incident is described in the Harivansha. Narad Muni went to see Kansa by providence, and Kansa received him very well. Because he knew Narad Muni is a spiritual person, he's a sadhu, he doesn't mean harm, so he received him very well. Narad therefore informed him that any one of the sons of Devaki might be Vishnu, because Vishnu was to kill him. Kansa would not spare any of Devaki's children. Narad Muni advised. Narad's intention was that Kansa, by killing the children, would increase his sinful activities so that Krishna would soon appear to kill him. Upon receiving the instructions of Narad Muni, Kansa killed all the children of Devaki one after another. And also those 6 children were sons of Marichi who had been cursed, and they were supposed to be killed by Kansa. The word Ajan Shankaya indicates that Lord Vishnu never takes birth, Ajan, and that He therefore appeared as Krishna, taking birth just like a human being. Kansa attempted to kill all the babies born of Devaki and Vasudeva, although he knew that if Vishnu were born, he would not be killed. Actually, it came to pass that when Vishnu appeared as Krishna, Kansa could not kill him. Rather, as foretold, it was he who killed Kansa. One should know in truth how Krishna, who takes his birth transcendently, acts to kill the demons, but is never killed himself. When one perfectly understands Krishna in this way, through the medium of Shastra, one becomes immortal. So that's what Krishna also says, Janma Karma Jnana Divya. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So this knowledge, faith, devotion has to be there. And to understand Krishna's pastime, it's very difficult. But we have to have faith and carry on with the devotion service. Then we'll know. Matram pitram bhratrin sarvansha suhridastataha dhananti hi sutripolubdha rajana prayasho bhuvi. Kings greedy for sense gratification on this earth almost always kill their enemies indiscriminately. To satisfy their own whims, they may kill anyone, even their mothers, fathers, brothers, or friends. Why? Because they think by killing everybody else, I can live forever, or I can increase my duration of life and I can enjoy. Cannot happen. First of all, by doing these sinful activities, one is always lives in fear. But I am doing something wrong, somebody will, whenever he gets a chance, he will kill me. Or like we say, mauka dekh ke koi to chauka maar dega. So why? Prabhupada says, we have seen in the history of India that Aurangzeb killed his brother and nephews and imprisoned his father to fulfill political ambitions. There have been many similar instances, and Kansa was the same type of king. Kansa did not hesitate to kill his nephews and imprison his sister and his father. For demons to do such things is not astonishing. Nonetheless, although Kansa was a demon, he is aware that Lord Vishnu cannot be killed, and thus he attained salvation. Even partial understanding of the activities of Lord Vishnu makes one eligible for salvation. Kansa knew a little about Krishna, that he could not be killed, and therefore he attained salvation, although he thought of Vishnu or Krishna as an enemy. And he was constantly, always thinking of Krishna. Although as enemy, in the fearful mood he was thinking, but he was always thinking. What then is to be said of one who knows Krishna perfectly from the descriptions of Shastras, like Bhagavad Gita? It is therefore the duty of everyone to read Bhagavad Gita and understand Krishna perfectly. This will make one's life successful. So demons can think of Krishna wrongly, but they still can, and they get liberated by thinking of Krishna. So what to speak of devotees who think of Krishna favorably, who is always there to serve him, and they're happy to serve him, happy to go through any kind of tribulation to serve Krishna. Nothing can be compared to them, and that's why Krishna gets purchased by his devotees. He gets controlled by his devotees. Atmanam iha sanjatam janan prag vishna hatam mahasuram kala nemim yaduvi savyarudhyat. In his previous birth, Kansa had been a great demon named Kalanemi and been killed by Vishnu. Upon learning this information from Narad, Kansa became envious of everyone connected with the Yadu dynasty. Persons who are demons, enemies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are called Asuras. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, The Asuras, because of their enmity towards the Supreme Personality of God, take birth after birth in Asura families and therefore glide down to the darkest hellish regions. Ugrasenam cha pitaram yadu bhojandikadipam swayam nigraya bubuje shrur senan mahabalaha. Kansa, the most powerful son of Ugrasena, even imprisoned his own father, the king of the Yadu, Bhoja and Andak dynasties, and personally ruled the states known as Shurasena. The state known as Mathura was also included within the states known as Shurasena. Now there is some notes on this first chapter, giving some more details, although it's very long. So let's see if we still have time. Regarding transmigration of soul, Srila Madhvacharya gives the following notes. When one is awake, whatever one sees or hears is impressed upon the mind, which later works in dreams to show one different experiences, although in dreams one appears to accept a different body. So again, this is lots of knowledge about the transmigration of the soul. So you can go over this. I wanted to get to the Harivansha portion.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one question. Why Narad said to Kamsa that any of the child, either from the first, from ascending order or descending order, may kill you? What was the reason behind
that? Many reasons. First, he wanted to make Kamsa fearful. That anything, the demigods can calculate in any way. And if he is fearful, he will do crazy things like killing first six sons. And the 6 sons, they had to be delivered this way. They had to be killed that way, actually. And if Kamsa did not do that, then it will be like some problem with the destiny. And Kamsa, he could not think straight. he got really bewildered. He was really fearful. Yes, these demigods, they can do anything, and that is why he just killed. Okay, so I wanted to come to this paragraph. In the Vishwakosh dictionary, the word Garbha is explained. Garbha vrune arbhake kukushal iti adi. When Kamsa was about to kill Devaki, Vasudeva wanted to dissuade him by the diplomacy of Sam and Bheda. Sam means pacifying. Vasudeva wanted to pacify Kamsa by indicating relations, gain, welfare, identity, and glorification. Reference to these 5 concerns constitutes Sam, and Vasudeva's presentation of fear in 2 situations in this life and the next is called Bheda. When Vasudeva used both Sam and Bheda to pacify Kamsa, praising Kamsa's qualifications was glorification, and praising him as a descendant of the Bhoja Vansha appealed to Sambandha, relationship. Speaking of your sister, he said in one of the shlokas, your sister, that was an appeal to identity. Speaking about killing a woman raises questions about fame and welfare and arousing fear of the sinful act of killing one's sister during her marriage ceremony is an aspect of Veda. So he tried everywhere. When Vasudeva addressed Kamsa as Deenavatsal, this was excessive praise. Kamsa would accept calves as a form of revenue from his poor constituents. Therefore, he was called Deenavatsal. Vasudeva knew very well that he could not by force rescue Devaki from the imminent danger. Devaki was actually the daughter of Kamsa's uncle, and therefore she is described as Suhrit, meaning relative. It is stated that Kansa refrained from killing his close relation, Devaki, because if he had killed her, a great fight would have ensued among the other members of the family. Kansa refrained from provoking this great danger of a family fight. And about Kansa's, why Kalanemi? Formerly an Asura named Kalanemi had 6 sons named Hansa, Subikram, Krat, Daman, Ripumardhan, and Krodahanta. They were known as Shadgarbhas or 6 Garbhas, and they were all equally powerful and expert in military affairs. These Shadgarbhas gave up the association of Hiranyakashipu, grandfather. So Kalnemi was the son of Hiranyakashipu, and these were the 6 sons of Kalanemi, and underwent great austerities to satisfy Lord Brahma, who upon being satisfied agreed to give them whatever benediction they might desire. When asked by Lord Brahma to state what they wanted, the Shadgarbhas replied, "Dear Lord Brahma, if you want to give us a benediction, give us the blessing that we will not be killed by any demigod, Maharoga, Yaksha, Gandharvapati, Siddha, Charan, or human being, not by great sages who are expert in their penances and austerities." Brahma understood the purpose and fulfilled their desire. But when Hiranyakashipu came to know of these events, so instead of becoming happy that my grandchildren have done so much of austerities, he became angry. He was angry at his grandsons. They're thinking, "You have given up my association, I have gone to worship Lord Brahma," he said, "and therefore I no longer have any affection for you. You have tried to save yourselves from the hands of demigods, but I curse you in this way. Your father will take birth as Kansa and kill all of you because he will take birth as sons of Devaki." So long ago it was predicted. Because of this curse, the grandsons of Hiranyakashipu had to take birth from the womb of Devaki and be killed by Kansa, although he was previously their father. This description is mentioned in the Harivansha Vishnu Parva, 2nd chapter. So many stories go on. And when Narad Muni came to Kansa, the great Saint Narad descended from the heavenly planets to the forest of Mathura and sent his messenger to Kansa. When the messenger approached Kansa and informed him of Narad's arrival, Kansa, the leader of the Asuras, was very happy and immediately came out of his palace to receive Narad, who was as bright as the sun, as powerful as fire, and free from all tinges of sinful activities. Kansa accepted Narad as his guest, offered him respectful obeisances, and gave him a golden seat, brilliant like the sun. Narad was a friend of the king of heaven, Indra, and thus he told Kansa, the son of Ugrasen, "My dear hero, you have satisfied me with a proper reception, and therefore I shall tell you something secret and confidential. While I was coming here from Nandankanan through the Chatrarat forest, I saw a great meeting of the demigods, who followed me to Sumeru Parvat. We traveled through many holy places, and finally we saw the holy Ganges. While Lord Brahma was consulting the other demigods at the top of Sumeru hill, I was also present with my stringed instrument, the veena. I shall tell you confidentially, the meeting was held just to plan to kill the Asuras headed by you. You have a younger sister named Devaki, and it's a fact that her 8th son will kill you." Okay, and Prabhupada further says, "No one can blame Naradji for encouraging Kansa to kill the sons of Devaki. The Saint Narad is always a well-wisher for human society, and he wanted the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, to descend to this world as soon as possible so that the society of demigods would be pleased and would see Kansa and his friends killed by Krishna. Kansa would also attain salvation from his nefarious activities, and this too would very much please the demigods and their followers." Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks in this connection that Narad Muni sometimes did things that were beneficial to the demigods and the demons simultaneously. Srila Veeraragava Acharya in his commentary has included the following half words in this regard. "Asura sarva eveta loko padrava karina." Asuras are always disturbing elements for human society. So this was the purpose of Narad Muni. And obviously, Narad Muni, being such a great devotee, he won't do anything that will hamper Krishna's plans. He will do everything that will help Krishna's plans. And this is why he went to Kansa. And Kansa was really afraid afterwards. But this is how Krishna is going to appear. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any other question or comment.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one confusion I have. That is, there was also a Kalnemi in Ramayana. When Ravana sent that Kalnemi Rakshasa to kill Hanuman, while Hanuman was flying to have the Sanjeevani. So who was that Kalnemi? And here, previous birth of Kamsa was also Kalnemi.
They could be different Rakshasas at different times named Kalnemi. So this Kalnemi, as Narad Muni said, he was killed by Vishnu. So Kalnemi was son of Hiranyakashipu. So when Narsingadev appeared, he killed so many demons over there. So Kalnemi might have been killed by Narsingadev himself. And also somewhere I read, Kansa was not the son of Ugrasen. Actually, there was a demon who had taken the form of Ugrasen, and he had union with Ugrasen's wife. And when he had that union, the wife of Ugrasen, afterwards she found out he is not my husband. So then he said, "Who are you?" And then he came to his real form. I'll try to find that story and post it. And he said, he came to his real form and he said, "Oh, you should be happy that I'm giving you a son from my dynasty." And then she cursed him that that son will be killed from somebody of my dynasty only. So that's how Kansa was. Kansa was very cruel. He born from wife of Ugrasen, but he was not the son of Ugrasen. And that's why he had this demoniac tendencies.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So many stories go on in the past time. So many stories.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so I guess we can stop here. So thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport, so 10th canto, first chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam, Advent of Lord Krishna, introduction. So tomorrow we'll start the second chapter. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.